We want to concentrate on Zurich. We want to conquer Zurich, and that means 1 to 2 more locations in Zurich would be a strategic goal. They go out of the comfort zone, out of this very closed skill set of just doing a deadlift and a squat. And that is very important for me, that the people try things out and that I keep that variety of Balboa. But having said that, we want to stick to the basics. We want to make people stronger, and we want to tell them that, especially for longevity, like it's a big word at the moment, your strength is important, your endurance is important, like your heart health is important, and we want to teach that basics, and we want to include that basics in like almost every training we have.
You choose first the trainer and then the class.
Yes, because the personality is for me very, very important. If a trainer comes along and has all the education that you can imagine, like everything that Perform Better, NSCA, Exos offers, or CrossFit offers, and then has not the right personality to pull people to have like a warming heart, like a welcoming heart, then it makes no sense in Balboa, because the people, they don't feel like a very theoretical person that only sticks to like a very closed scheme. It's very important that we have a people catcher. One of the big problems of football players, it gets never developed, like not for the kids and also not for the adults. So basic strength training is just not a part of football, and it comes, I don't know, but I think that it comes from a very long tradition. All the old players, they become coaches, and then the coaches has all the power, you know, and there's no, I would even say there's no training intelligence included.
What's your approach when it comes to keeping the trainers close to the community for a long time?
First of all, treat them well, give them like the feeling of a safe space. They are welcome with what they are and what they do. That means I always encourage them to bring out their personality. That means they can play the music that they want in their class. They can basically do what they want in their class. I mean, of course, it has to have a quality, and I watch a lot of classes and make sure that it has the quality that we need or that we expect. But apart from that, they can really be their own, and they can bring out all their personality. They are not a robot behind a concept. It's a little bit like CrossFit. The initial idea is very good, but then it comes to an extreme that I don't like that much, you know, because it's not only the intention of the owners or of the movement, it's also what the people see. And what the people see at the moment in High Rocks is I go into the gym and I leave everything on the floor every day, and I go 100% intensity all the time. And that is not the message I want to send. We simplified the app and tried to make it a little bit like Netflix, because we always thought that we are a platform, we are like a cinema, you know, like, and you have to see the program of the cinema. So from the very first moment, you see this curated playlist for you, like in Netflix. You have like your documentaries, you have kids stuff, you have like science fiction. But it's a very interesting project, because we want to duplicate and multiply it also if it's successful. And it could be a good blueprint for the future to bring to real estate developers when they want to do big projects for office buildings or also rebuild stuff. They always need retail, food, and nowadays also a gym, which is something the people expect not only in hotels but also around their workplace.
Hello and welcome to the Robert Dobai Show. The reason I do this podcast is to be around people I admire. Hungry individuals who express their vision through their work, business, sport, or art. I'm curious about what pushes them to fight the norms, dedicate their lives to a craft, and chase excellence. There is a place for everyone on this earth, and I prefer to run amongst those with the heart of a lion. I believe the cage that keeps us from our goals is in our minds, And through this podcast, I take knowledge and inspiration from those who have overcome limiting beliefs and are now moving freely. In this episode, my guest is Timo Klein, co-founder and head coach at Balboa, a well-known functional gym with 2 locations in the heart of Zurich and a new one coming up in Basel. We started our discussion by talking about what Balboa is and how it was founded. Being a multidisciplinary functional gym, we talked about how he chooses the classes he wants to offer, how he selects his trainers, and how he manages to keep them close to the community for many years. Later in the episode, we talked about how he managed to combine all the elements of a successful gym, from branding to location and original design elements. We finished our discussion with more personal topics like stories and lessons from Timo's football career, leadership, struggles, and valuable advice on life and fitness. If you want to support this podcast, one of the best things you can do is subscribe to my channel. Another way is to subscribe to the Lionscage training programs. I built the Lionscage training programs to help busy people train and look like athletes. My goal is to create a minimalistic and sustainable approach to functional training, and that's why Lionscage 60 and Lionscage 40 combine the most effective exercises I have found for strength, endurance, and mobility during my career as a coach. Each program is built with 3 levels of difficulty so everyone can progress through the exercises. I trust my product with all my heart, and that's why the first 2 weeks are free. I will leave the link in the description, and now let's get to the show.
Good.
Timo Klein,
yes.
Thank you for accepting
Hello,
my
Robert.
invitation.
Yes, I'm looking forward to our talk.
You are the co-founder and the head coach of Balboa, a well-known functional gym in the heart of Zurich.
I hope so, yeah.
You have 2 locations in Zurich.
Yes.
And you are opening now one new in Basel, right?
Yeah.
And this year, if I'm right, Balboa is celebrating 11 years of existence, right?
Yes, last year we celebrated our 10th anniversary.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It was a big party actually.
Party?
Yeah.
Here in the gym?
No. We went to the party area of Zurich, to the Langstraße, and we really took down a whole side street because it was completely blocked. So many people came. Yeah,
great.
It's really nice.
What makes Balboa stand out, and who's Balboa for?
Good question. I think we were one of the first that did like a multidisciplinary group training. We started with very simple trainings, and I think what stands out is that we really have a variety of workouts, and in every discipline we have experts for this discipline. You know, so it's very like we spend, or especially me, spend a lot of time to curate like very good coaches for different disciplines. So it's not that like one coach coaches 3 disciplines. My first questions to every coach that comes along is, what are you burning for? What is your passion? Because I want that you coach what you also train, what you do, and where you are an expert in.
On the website, you arranged the classes by categories, and I will read them. Strength and power, strength and cardio mix, yoga, pilates and stretching, skills and agility, core and stability, outdoor and adventure.
Yes.
What's interesting to me is that almost every class, like you said, has a different trainer. Almost. And my question is, how do you choose what classes you offer to your members?
That is always a combination of which coach comes along and with which coach I am in contact with. For example, like 9 years ago, a breakdancer came through the door, and then we said, okay, breakdance is maybe not for everyone to spin on the head, you know. And then he said, yeah, maybe I can offer a workout that is broken down for the basics of breakdancing, because I believe in training only with my body weight. And then he developed and developed and developed, and now is Leo Moves with 2 million followers. And he did a great job. He trained so much, and he developed really like so much skills, and also a sense for business and a sense for how he can bring his skills to the people. And that is only one example. What can grow out of a conversation, and also trying to find out what you're burning for as a coach, and where you're expert in. Yes, and like in the very basic sense, I'm searching for like having a good mix of these categories, but. Like our big, let's say, focus is on strengths and functional trainings. You know, like yoga plays a side role. We are not a typical yoga studio. I think they come along a lot of logistical problems also. Like we are not as white and hygienic and really clean as a yoga studio. So yoga studio is a small side business, but our community really enjoys that we offer that as well. Also, like very specific skills. We know that our community is more like the average sports guy, or the average guy that likes to do sports in different ways, but not in a very specific way. We don't like create athletes for like the best 100-meter time, or like the longest handstand walk, or like specific skills you have to practice a lot, maybe a little bit less than in CrossFit, for example. And therefore, these parts, they play a little bit side role, but it's very important for the whole brand and for the whole experience. That means, for example, the outdoor and adventure. If we do a Balboa challenge in the summer, everyone jumps in the river and they do little challenges like swimming with a board. And then they do also running, and they go out of the comfort zone, out of this very closed skill set of just doing a deadlift and a squat. And that is very important for me, that the people try things out, and that I keep that variety of Balboa. But having said that, we want to stick to the basics. We want to make people stronger, and we want to tell them that, especially for longevity, like it's a big word at the moment, your strength is important, your endurance is important, like your heart health is important, and we want to teach that basics, and we want to include that basics in like almost every training we have. Long answer.
So you choose first the trainer and then the class.
Yes, because the personality is for me very, very important. If a trainer comes along and has all the education that you can imagine, like everything that Perform Better, NSCA, Exos offers, or CrossFit offers, and then has not the right personality to pull people to have like a warming heart, like a welcoming heart, then it makes no sense in Balboa, because the people, they don't feel like a very theoretical person that only sticks to like a very closed scheme. It's very important that we have a people catcher. I say human. I always say Mensch. That means someone that is really good with humans. Yeah.
I've seen that you are coaching a class called Body Weight, but with an U, not with an O.
Yes. That was actually a 5 minutes decision. In the first day, I went to Eric, the founder of Balboa. We had a talk, and I said, I could give a class. I could try that out. And he said, what could be the name for the class, and he asked the same question, what is your specialty? And I said, like I'm coming from football and it was always about the team. So I would do a partner training, and I do a lot with only body weight, like not a lot with weight. So why don't we call it body weight?
Great name.
Then it was, and my dog's name is Buddy, actually.
Oh, yes. Nice.
Yeah.
How would you describe your own style of coaching, and what's the most important aspect you are looking to deliver to your trainees?
The basics, teaching the basics, I would say. I'm coming from an athletic background, like I said, football. I mean, mobility and strength was never a focus in football. I think it still isn't, as the very few sports. And therefore I always include some athletic movements. That says that means lateral jumps, jumping on one leg, being very athletic and active. And then I include the basic lifts always, like a squat, like a deadlift scheme, but more in term of movement patterns than in specific exercises. The squat can turn into a lunge. The lunge can turn into a skater squat. Anything, So, but I want to teach the basics of these movement patterns and combine that with athletic movements. Yeah.
As you told, also in Romania, I coached a few guys who were playing football, for example, and they were so stiff.
Yeah.
The hamstrings and the lower back, everything. And they were almost always injured on something. Yeah. And I told them, guys, you need to focus, as you told, on the basic patterns of the movement, of how the body moves. What's that? There are some exercises that you should do in order to at least retain and not lose your flexibility and stuff like this, that must be included in your training. And I don't know, if you say this, I thought it's the case only in Romania, because in Romania, for example, even in the big teams, the coach plays the role also for the physical preparator for everything, especially in the kids and juniors, that the coach does everything there.
Yes.
And that's where the most problem starts to appear.
Yeah, I mean, also, I mean, you did a lot of CrossFit and performance sports, weightlifting. You know that everything starts from the center. And I think that is one of the big problems of football players. It gets never developed, like not for the kids and also not for the adults. So basic strength training is just not a part of football, and it comes, I don't know, but I think that it comes from a very long tradition. All the old players, they become coaches, and then the coaches has all the power, and there's no, I would even say there's no training intelligence included, and they don't allow other people, experts, to come in and just to tell them like how it's done right. Like in handball, basketball, ice hockey, all these other sports, I see a complete different development. But in football, it's still very old-fashioned way of training. And I mean, you always see snippets in like social media from Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and now Barcelona also, where you still have the feeling that they are stuck in like somewhere in the history 20 years, 30 years ago. And I think one part of it, like that is one reason why there are so many injuries, especially in the ACL and in the hamstring. But on the other side, it's a contact sport, and it's very hard to predict injuries. It's very hard to prevent injuries. So I cannot look into like professional clubs, what they are really doing. I only see these snippets. But what I know is that only a few of my friends and people I know that studies sports science and strength and conditioning had the chance to really raise their word in their clubs, to really make something that makes sense. always politics stood in the way, and therefore I think it is very difficult for strength and conditioning coaches to step a foot and to do a step into the football industry. Even though there should be a lot of money, you know. I know Arsenal, also the Premier League clubs, they invest a lot in good trainers. They have a connection to Exos, I think. But the rest, I mean, you go one step down. I mean, the second league and Premier League still pays very high amount of salary, but there's almost nothing. And I know a few athletic coaches. They do not even get a 20% or a 30% salary for training a professional team, and it's a very hard job. You have to be all the time with the team, but you don't get nothing. You do not get the rewards or like a proper pensum that will pay you off for like what you are educated for. Yes. I mean, it's a little bit broken system, I think. Yeah. I trained also a team until last year, like a semi-professional team here in Zurich, and there it was the same. I had to fight every year that I can do the preparation for them, and then I only had 1 hour per week, or sometimes 2 hours per week. And then what should I do? I mean, in the preparation phase of a season, you cannot burn them out. You cannot do everything. Like, it makes no sense to do planks with them. You know, these are like high-level athletes somehow. You know, you have to do something with them. So I decided I do only like very specific. I do only max speed. You know, I tell the head coach, hey, you do everything else. And I recommend some stuff for recovery, so when they should go next time after the sprints. But when I come, I only prepare them for max speed, so that I can at least develop one quality in them. Yes. But as I said, it was not much then. Yeah.
I watched some clips on the internet from more than 5 years ago, and I've noticed that many trainers are still on the team today.
Yeah. Yes.
What's your approach when it comes to keeping the trainers close to the community for a long time?
First of all, treat them well. Give them like the feeling of a safe space. They are welcome with what they are and what they do. That means I always encourage them to bring out their personality. That means they can play the music that they want in their class. They can basically do what they want in their class. I mean, of course, it has to have a quality, and I watch a lot of classes and make sure that it has the quality that we need or that we expect. But apart from that, they can really be their own, and they can bring out all their personality. They are not a robot behind a concept. They are the concept, you know? And that is something that people feel, and they give it back to them with popularity. You know, when a coach comes to the stage, let's say, then the people come because of the coach. They don't come because they do squats or they do deadlifts. Of course, they come to do sport, yes. But they mainly, they don't say, hey, I signed up for kettlebell skills. They say, I'm coming to Tom, you know? And that is something, I think that is one reason why the coaches feel welcome and well here. And of course, I try to give everyone what he or she needs. That means if they want to work more, I try to make it happen. If they want to leave for 3 months, I don't say we quit now. I say I find a solution that you can come back with the same classes after 3 months. You know, so I try to make it happen like in either way, and I have a lot of contact to them, so personal. Yeah.
Why Balboa did not affiliate with methodologies and brands like CrossFit or Hyrox, which are well known for their functional approach to fitness?
That is a good question. I was a few times, I was very close to it because it's tempting. In terms of marketing, you are part of a bigger movement. I mean, people that come in the city, they can access websites where they find your gym. But from the very first day, we created our own brand and our own identity. And I think these concepts are very good. I think CrossFit started to make like a community in a gym, which is a huge part of us as well. So we benefited from that as well. Therefore, I like CrossFit boxes a lot because they bring people together. But there are also downsides. I realized that it's also a niche. That means, like, if you do CrossFit properly, then you have to spend a lot of time. You have to spend a lot of time, dedication, learning the skills. It's high competitive also, and not everyone in Balboa, and that was the case from the very first moment, is as dedicated as like the usual CrossFit goer, for example. So we created our own like environment of classes, and I would say a little bit more variety than a CrossFit studio did it in 2014. Now it's also different, so they opened up a little bit, but back then they just had watts every day, you know. So it was a morning watt, lunch watt, and an evening watt, and it was like Olympic lift, strengths, and then the Metcon. And we wanted to have a little bit broader base of trainings and variety, and therefore I never thought about that. The first time I thought a little bit about it was when Hyrox came up, and I thought last year and the year before, last year I participated also in one. I thought maybe that could be something because it's very accessible, also for a broader range of people. But I realized quite quickly that it also, like, there is so much business behind it, and you are so like closed then, also in the disciplines. It's a little bit like CrossFit. The initial idea is very good, but then it comes to an extreme that I don't like that much, you know, because it's not only the intention of the owners or of the movement, it's also what the people see. And what the people see at the moment in Hyrox is I go into the gym and I leave everything on the floor every day, and I go 100% intensity all the time. And that is not the message I want to send. Yeah.
I think your approach is long-term based.
Yeah. Yes. And
it's hard to, as you said, it's tempting to not go with a new trend, let's say, because more or less they are all new trends. Nothing changes in how the body moves. And if you only have 2-3 hours per week to train, and you have a regular job working a 9 to 5 in the office, it's not the best idea to go and try to snatch and also do another 15 movements in the same hour, because you get average, the best, not good.
Yeah.
And I had a weightlifting coach who told me, Robert, if you don't do weightlifting properly, it's not the question if you get injured, it's when you get injured.
Exactly.
And that's one reason, after I closed my affiliate in Romania and people asked me to give them some training programs, I chose for the online training programs I provide in the Lionscage app to not prescribe keeping movements, only strict pull-ups, for example, no weightlifting movements, no snatch, no clean and jerks, only basics, deadlift, front squats, back squats, whatever, Bulgarian squats, because they are regular people. Some of them moved with the family out of the city. They want to train in the garage gym. Some of them want to train in their local gym. Yeah. They were surprised, and some of them offended at the beginning. Why you were teaching us, you were preaching us to snatch, to clean and jerk, to come extra. Like you said, if you want to do all the skills RX, like bar muscle up, ring muscle up, handstand walks, you have to come extra to the gym. 1 hour, 3 times a week is not enough to do everything.
Yes.
And then you get frustrated, or if you try and you don't have a good coach to tell you, hey, it's not the right moment for you, take it easy. Yes. Maybe when you be able to do more, then you get injured.
Yes.
And that's also the reason, because I'm in this thing for 12 years. So I've seen many generations come and go. And if you are new, you say, maybe he's not right. But if you
exactly
are old enough, you have seen many people.
Yes, and I think even if like the disciplines in CrossFit look easy, it has the same problem, because people, they go to this event and then they first time they need 1 hour 30 to finish, and then they want to get better, and then they increase their volume, and then it wants like the next Hyrox is coming up 3 months already, and they don't take the time to build a cardiovascular base. And that should be like, for everyone that tries, that should be the start. You have to have a cardiovascular base. If you run your kilometers on 7 minutes, you don't have to think about Hyrox. Then it's very likely that you get injured, because your body is obviously not prepared to run a decent pace to do this competition. And like, apart from all that other stuff that comes in. I mean, it's very nice. I mean, I enjoyed it also to train that for the last year. I can understand why many people like are tempted to do that, because I mean, it's a nice feeling to run on stage and see your name on the stage. Everything,
of course,
is okay. For me personally, I like more like skill-based sports, like in football, you know, where you have to actually like have a talent for. Yeah. And therefore, I like also weightlifting, because it's technical. You know, you have to work on the tiny little bits of movement, you know, and but that is a personal preference. So, but back on your question, why we never like did also, you forgot body pump, grid.
I forgot about this. Maybe because I was not involved.
But this is also, I mean, these are also concepts very successful. I mean, body pump is since 30 years. They make money all over the world in every gym. They like have a very good business model. But in the end, it was like I said before. For me, the personal connection, that is also why we give every workout of every coach a specific name. So like one is body boost, the other one is Körperbau, the other one is body weight, what we talked about. So it has a very unique name, sometimes descriptive, like kettlebell skills, and sometimes something completely random. We also had Garage X, which is something, you know, but it was always connected to the coach. And if the coach is on holiday, the Garage X is not there. You know, it's not that you get substituted. It's your concept, and you coach it, and if you're not there, someone else comes with his concept. And concepts like Hyrox and CrossFit and body pump and stuff, they don't fit into that system really. I would get like, you know, I would work against my own beliefs, so to say, without saying those are bad. You know, like CrossFit has its place, Hyrox has its place, and even body pump, which is very old fashioned, has its place. Yes, as a beginner, you go there, you do like 700 half reps, but you did something, you know, like it's okay.
What is the average retention rate for a member in your community?
We just changed the software, and I mean, we do a lot of statistics on our visits and everything, because we do a lot of business analysis. But I would say it's over 50% at least. I mean, but that is the number we are working on, because there are a lot of gym hoppers. You know, they try something out. There are concepts like my clubs. I don't know whether you know that. You know, Urban Sports Club. It's like a company based in Germany, and you can have a membership, and they are partnered with all the gyms, and you can, with your membership, you can try out every gym. You can go to CrossFit here, you can do wakeboarding here, you can do yoga in Balboa. So We are also connected to them, partnered up with them, and therefore a lot of people that never had the intention to come more than once, they come here and they just try it out. Of course, we try to keep them and convince them with our quality and with our workouts, but I think that is one reason why the number cannot be too high, but. We have the fortunate position that like every month, without doing a lot of marketing, like dedicated marketing or targeted, a lot of people come into our door, you know, and our big job is, as you said, the retention rate, so that they come back and that they do a membership here. And therefore we have a membership that is called Starter Kit. We tried a lot for like the first impression or the first workout. First we had 3 workouts as a trial, then we had the 2 for 1. But with that variety, we always felt that like 1 or 2 workouts are not enough to really get what the value of Balboa. And therefore we decided to create the starter kit. And in the starter kit, you have like for 77 francs, you can train 7 times within 2 weeks. You can also train only 5 times, but you can experience the whole Balboa universe. You can go to the stretching, to the things. Within 2 weeks, you can decide, do I like Balboa or not?
For a very good price.
For a very good price. I mean, it's 7 francs. How much is that? 7 francs.
11 francs.
7 francs.
Yeah.
11 francs.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yes, exactly.
7. Yeah. Very good. I've seen also. I want to congratulate you on the mobile app.
Thank you.
Because 2 things impressed me the most. How user-friendly is to buy a membership. I've seen also the starter pack there, everything. And how easy is to book a class. And I want to ask you, how did you come to this version of the app? Because if I found the right information on the internet, you also have some background in tech.
Yeah. That's true. Yes, I studied computer science. First of all, I played football semi-professional, and then I got injured, and then I concentrated on university, and that was like the very short version of my story. And the reason why I studied computer science. And after that I worked in agencies and programmed also a little bit. And from the very first day in Balboa, I was responsible for the booking system. So I evaluated different companies. Then we chose MindBody 10 years ago. And now we changed for the first time, we changed our booking system. And of course, I had a lot of experience, what's good and what's bad. And then again, I did an evaluation of 4 to 5 different systems. And now we have a very good system, and this system comes with an app. And the goal of our app was very only simplicity. Because, I mean, everybody is annoyed by complicated structures in the app.
Yeah.
Yes, and therefore we always said, if we have an app, we want to reach only 2 goals, and the one goal is to make a really welcoming impression, so that you actually like to use that app, and you get very quickly what it is. And then secondly, a very easy way to book.
It is, and you success. Yeah, I was thinking, because I'm using a white label app, so I rented the platform. They allowed me to personalize, but I was thinking, when I will develop my own app, I will tell to developers, make something similar to this. Look how user-friendly it is. Is because now we have tens of apps in our phone, and a new one is always overwhelming.
Yes.
Oh, I have to learn also this one.
Yes.
But when you go into Balboa app, 20 buttons, very clear. What you want? Okay, done.
Yes, but we cut it out a lot also, because you don't need it in the end. I mean, that was also a secret of our digital transformation now. We just cut it out a lot unnecessary. Also on our website, we did a new website, which we also we hired an agency that is specialized only on the simplifications. And we simplified the app and tried to make it a little bit like Netflix, because we always thought that we are a platform, we are like a cinema, you know, like, and you have to see the program of the cinema. So from the very first moment, you see this curated playlist for you, like in Netflix. You have like your documentaries, you have kids stuff, you have like science fiction, you have that, and we are a little bit similar. So there are many streams and stories written in Balboa. Let it be our surfers training. We go to the lake in the summer. We have our bread and butter workouts here. Then on the other side, we have special events that we do together with other gyms or with other concepts. So a lot of things are going on, and we had to channel this so that the people that do not know us get a very clear picture and overview of what we actually do.
What's the most efficient channel for Balboa in terms of client acquisition? Do you run ads, participate in local events, word of mouth, referrals?
From the very first day, word of mouth, I think. Now, obviously, like back then, Instagram was not big in 2014, but now it's a little bit bigger. But we don't have clear numbers how many people actually take the decisions to come here just because they saw something on Instagram. I think we create an impression on Instagram what's going on here, but in the end, like from our very roots, like the word of mouth was always the strongest, because we never did a Google ad, not once. We did like 10 times maybe, not even in 10 years. We did Instagram or like a Facebook ad, not much. We tried a little bit, but it didn't really have a big effect for us. But what we managed in the beginning was that we were like a topic on the family table, you know? So like the teenager heard from somewhere in the party area of Zurich, there is a gym is going on, you know? So there's a gym in a garage opening. And then the other guy from the father from the bank maybe heard from his colleague, hey, I'm going to that gym now. So we managed to be like a topic in the talks in the families and let's say the even parties and stuff. And that was our roots, and we stuck to that. And people like to talk about what they like and the places they like. And I mean, maybe you also, you know, when I go to Cape Town or so to holiday and I found an extraordinary good restaurant, then I'm going to tell everyone.
Yeah.
And that means you have to have a good product. And if you have a good product with good people and you create a good experience, then the people will talk about it everywhere they go without ad or without like having a t-shirt on or without like you paying them, which is also very common now, you know, that you pay people that talk like in a good way about you. But we always like did very well with that. Yeah,
great. This is how they actually also teach in CrossFit methodology, because CrossFit at the core, at the roots, is very good methodology and it's a lot of thought there, but the people destroyed it, I think. And there are very few gyms,
and maybe
very few gyms, and very who?
Maybe one of the CEOs destroyed us. I know.
Yeah, but the methodology written in the first place at the core, with the community, with not emphasizing the mirror and stuff like this, emphasizing the relationship between the coach and the client. These things were all written there, and it was fabulous for creating this kind of movements, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. Like I said, I mean, we took a lot of good things that came out of CrossFit, and I'm still amazed by like these little CrossFit boxes. Will it be in America or in Romania or so, where they build really a community? They have barbecue together and they're so strong together, and they go together to a competition and they cheer each other up. I mean, that is that's the core of everything, like the human relationship that should be built, and then the people really like to go.
Yes.
And like the physical benefits and the mental benefits are then a side effect almost.
Side effects, yeah. Sure, great. I trained at Balboa, and besides the good training session, 3 things stuck with me: the ultra central location of the gym, the glass floor at the entrance that allows people to see inside the training space, and the amazing atmosphere at the bar. Who had the idea to put together a real bar and restaurant with the gym?
So there I have to like wind a little bit back. In the very beginning, when I joined Balboa, there was Eric, the founder, and like I would say a secret ingredient, which is named Paco. Paco is a creative director, self-employed creative director, which has nothing to do with the sports world. And he is one of our founders. So it's one of us 3. And he always made sure that we are not looking like a gym. So that was always his job, to question our decisions, not to be a gym, you know, and to be everything around it, being a culture, being a restaurant, being an event, being a brand. And he also created that one here. And he's the brain behind the creativity and also the connection to do something like that. From the very first moment, the hole was not in the floor from the glass. You know, from the very first moment, Paco said, we need a glass there. We need something to look down, otherwise nobody will see us. And I said, look, we were in the middle of a construction here. It's very complicated to put like a hole into like a concrete like that. And he said, no, that's the most important thing in our gym. And I said, I thought he's crazy. But then I started to realize that he's right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And even the glass broke already 5 times, you know, because it's a security glass. But when a knife comes down and then it breaks. It's not unstable then, but it looks unstable. So we had a little bit discussions with our insurance, but we decided to keep that, and it's so good.
Yeah,
because people,
it's fantastic.
Yes, people come in there, bankers come in there, they bring their business contacts from, I don't know, they come from the Middle East, from South America, and they show them, look,
Yeah.
they trained down there, and it's such a good effect.
It stays with you. I've listened to an audiobook, The Diary of a CEO by Stephen Bartlett.
Yes, yeah,
amazing podcaster, and he in his marketing agency had a huge slider that all the people said
about it, yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah.
But he said all the newspapers and media were talking about this slider, and it made him famous, this crazy decision that he took.
Yes.
And I think for a company like yours, doing things like this and finding this magic, because this is it doesn't change nothing in the structure, but it's the magic powder.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it's for us, it was a perfect way to bring the restaurant and the gym together somehow. You know, so that even the people that don't want to go to the gym, they can have a little bit glimpse of maybe they come 100 times to the restaurant, and the 101st time they say, "Hey, let's go.
Hey, let's make it."
You know,
great.
And yes. But you named 2 other things that stuck with you.
Yeah. What was the determining factor for choosing the location, and how did you manage to find such a good location?
In Zurich, always a little bit luck and a little bit momentum. I have the feeling now it's even easier, as after Corona so many things changed, to find a location. But back then we were almost in another location and did a little acoustic check of the floor, and then got the answer, hey, you have to invest like 200,000 to make it like silent enough to build a gym there. Okay, we had to cancel that because we had no money back then and we were still in the garage. And then Eric and Paco like went around this area, and they suddenly found that here. And it was perfect because we are here like in the underground, you know. So it was not the demand was not too high, you know. So there were not too many competitors that wanted to have this place, because you cannot do office in here, you cannot do a restaurant down here, you know. So the combination of this first floor and the second floor was something special, and there we didn't have many competitors, and yeah, we were lucky and we were fast. And then also, of course, I mean, we took a lot of risk. I mean, that building out that location here, also with the business plan ahead, with a quite high rent, was a high risk. Yeah.
I hope you signed for many years.
We just signed another 10-year contract. Yeah.
That's great. Congratulations.
I mean, yes, now like the combination of restaurant and gym works quite fine. So it's more the landlord that asks us whether we want to stay, and not the other way around. Yeah. Yeah.
That's great. And what about the restaurant?
The restaurant, we first had the idea because I'm coming from football, and in football, after the training, you go for a beer and a pizza or something like that. And there was always this idea that we spend time together with a group after the training, and we sit together and have a beer. So in the beginning, we had a real bar there with alcohol, even with champagne and stuff. And then after 7 weeks, we felt that this is not working. This is not like, people come here for health, for like a sports session, and somehow it doesn't fit. So we made a cut and we threw them out. So the owner of the bar, we broke up with them, and then we did for 12 weeks. We did the bar for ourselves, the bar and restaurant. So the whole team of Balboa were behind the bar, did coffees, did like salad bowls and everything. It was not very profitable at that time. We lost a little money, but we found then Roots, which is a vegan restaurant, like the restaurant owner now, and we developed a very good connection, and now we're working really closely together, and like they do very well. I think they changed the whole perception in the city, how to like eat, like that you can, that the vegan food can be very delicious, and also that it can be a great business. They changed that. They have several locations, and they grew with us. Almost founded the same year, and now we do as many projects together as we can. Yeah. What was your biggest challenge as a decision maker over the years, and how did you approach it? I'm not a worried person. I'm not very worried about a lot of things. I'm also in Corona, I had no existential like worries or threats. I didn't feel that. So for me, I always see the positive side of things, and I would take risk. I took risk when I like started Balboa, because I put everything what I had, I put in it. Even though I knew Eric only 4 weeks. So everyone that has anything to do with startups and business told me, don't do it, you know, because the likelihood that you come along with someone that is complete stranger and you put your whole money in it, like the likelihood that it will fail is quite high, you know. But I said, why not? You know, I said, I feel that this is something that has something, and then we just went on. So, but the biggest challenges, of course, were like Corona. And we were like one time during the whole history of Balboa, we were like in front of a wall, financial wall, where it was really hard, and we had to take hard decisions, also to lay off people, to restructure and everything. And as I'm not coming from business, I'm not like educated, I don't have a master in economy or something like that. And I never led a company before, and I never led people before. So to lay off people, to have these talks, to take decisions that we have to restructure, and really that you have to break up these like very friendly connections that I have to all the coaches and all to employees. That was really the hardest. I mean, and that happened twice now. But we are very happy that we made it through Corona, and we had a long recovery time. But I mean, when I think back to the Corona, we had to take decisions on a weekly basis. I'm sure you too, back in Romania, right? And in Switzerland, I mean, that was such a big topic. It was like from the population didn't want to follow the state somehow and didn't follow the rules. And we as a gym had always to interpret what the government says and then to take a decision how we can survive. You know, and there were some really, really like thin lines to go. And once or twice, we took maybe the wrong decision. But in the end, I think we did a good job because we did the online library, and 4 days after the lockdown, we were online with like an online training. We put up a living room kind of scenery here, and we did like 700 workouts through that time, and recorded everything. Like we had a kind of Netflix of fitness.
Great.
Yeah. Yes. And the people followed us. I mean, there were people after Corona, they came to me when they saw me and they hugged me and they started to cry because they said, look, I really struggled with all my life, and the only thing we had back home when we were in lockdown was your training. And that was really like emotional back then, but yeah, I mean, that was one of the hardest decisions like back then. Yeah.
Were you always, since you were a kid, such a calm and positive person, or you became over time?
I think it was always like that. I never struggled really with decisions, or also in my football career. Sometimes I was on a bench for 3 months because for no reason. And there, I think I learned it over time, you know, not to give up, to see the positive side of things, and then to give everything I have in training to overcome this situation and then play again, be on the field again, you know. So that was a part. And then I had a big injury, a very big injury that took me 2 years to come back, like a broken leg with a compartment syndrome, it seems. So I almost lost my leg. So these are also situations that I cannot remember any of these situations now, but I know that it was really hard, and I had to take the decisions. Do I just give up? And then the doctor said, you will never play football again. And I said, no, I'm back in 6 months, you know. And I always had this picture in front of me. I will be back. I was 22, so I'm not gonna play. I'm not gonna quit football. So I think I developed somehow this mindset to see the things more on the positive side, and therefore. Maybe sometimes it's also dangerous because sometimes it's a good protection to be worried about things. But I think like I'm 47 now. I think it was okay. It was a good way to go through my life, and I will keep on going like that. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
If you could go back 10 years ago when you started Balboa, what would you do differently?
Yeah, maybe I would. Maybe something I'm not best in is like planning strategically. Maybe it's also not a weakness. I don't know, but I would maybe sit also with a piece of paper and try to look into the future. What's coming in 5 years, and then plan it even better. Because the decision whether we want to, for example, franchise Balboa or not, has not been taken yet. So we never talked about that, you know. And I think it's maybe an important decision to do, even if you are in the beginning, which path you want to go. So we swam a little bit, like we through the time, and that is also. Yeah, that is also not my fault, but it's kind of my decision also, because I thought, okay, here comes the breakdancer, and I make something out of it, and here comes the other coach, okay, make something out of it, and we grew like that, and we grew less strategically, I would say. I think a little bit more
planning,
strategy and planning would have been good, but maybe it was good like that. I cannot say really, but. If you take as a business, if you take the decision early where you want to go and you have a clear vision, then I think it makes a lot of things easier business-wise. I don't know culture-wise, because we grew like a club. We grew like not like a cult, but not like a religion, but like a club. We grew organically, you know. And from a business side, maybe it would have been better to put a little bit more like thought into strategic positions. Yeah, that is the only thing. Everything else, I mean, the fact that so many people are still with us, clients and coaches, speaks for itself. That is the thing I'm most proud of, because it's humans, and I work together with humans, and they are still here. I can offer them a job. They like to work here, otherwise they would have been gone already. And I think that was a good decision to spend so much time with them, and to follow that path with them. Yeah.
On your LinkedIn profile description, you wrote, building the gym of the future.
Yes.
How does the future of Balboa look in your mind, both long and short term?
First, a little disclaimer, I'm not the biggest fan of LinkedIn, and I think I wrote that in 2015 or something. It's also a sentence that we created back then. Because we knew that we do something new, like with this variety of the group trainings. We did a lot of research. We went to London. We went through all London, and we didn't find a lot like this. You know, we found a lot of like One Rebel and stuff that is there now. Big business also. Some minor things, but not in a multi-level, multi-variety kind of thing. You know Frame in London?
No.
They are a little bit similar. Like very unique, very hands-on, very individual, and we liked that really. But we didn't find much, even in New York back then. So yes, and that brought us to, we want to build the gym of the future, because we thought like the human is in the center, and we have to create something where the human can move in every different direction. If someone decides to go 3 months into a strength program and want to get stronger, and then like life comes around, and I don't want to spend too much time in only like a strength work, and then and I want to spend more outside, and we wanted to offer something for these people to to follow them, or be like by the side of the people when they walk through life. So the future of Balboa, yes. So I think we had a lot of up and downs, and we are financially stable now. We are business-wise stable. I think the society is also more stable and build back their habits again after Corona, so we can calculate a little bit in the future. What we want to do. We said last year already, we want to concentrate on Zurich. We want to conquer Zurich, and that means 1 to 2 more locations in Zurich would be a strategic goal. Yes, and then of course with Roots together, there are many more projects that we could imagine. One comes along now with Basel, which is a corporate project. Is not the same as here. It won't have that cool vibe. I think it will be more like an open gym and a group training gym for the people that work in Basel, you know. And
Okay.
it's also not in an urban environment. It's like in outside Basel. It's like 15 minutes away from Basel. And they asked Roots and us to do the canteen and the gym for this office environment there. So it's a little bit different approach, but it could be a very interesting concept for the future. Because if now someone builds a big building for offices, they need to offer something for the employees. It's not enough to build 4 walls and a table and the computer. It's not enough to engage the people to come out of their couch, of the home office couch. And yes, and this could be a new branch of Balboa to offer that as a package.
Yeah, and it's also more scalable,
Yes.
right?
Yes, it's more scalable, but there we come back to the franchise. I mean, what would Balboa concept need to be a franchise? To hand over a book, someone in Berlin, Barcelona, or anywhere, to say, start a Balboa there, here are the rules, and give me $3,000 a year, like CrossFit, or like more, I don't know. So, and it would need a lot, because there is so much here, is so much culture in it, with all the personalities, with all the coaches, with everything that we built, that we would have to change the whole like base and root of Balboa, which is possible, but we have to do it strategically. Yes. And the other thing, the more corporate project, exactly, that is like something we can just package and define. And also copy to other
Locations, projects.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
Great.
And there the combination with the restaurant is perfect, because it's not easy to copy. It's not easy that someone else, another gym, comes along and says, hey, we have a competitive product. You know, so we can do the same, because this is a connection that grew over 8 years now. And it's really strong, and we have like combined processes, and that is the plan for the future.
Sounds great. Good luck.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, we are used to work in this high frequency and very fast environment here in Zurich. You said it for yourself. A lot of stuff is going on. A lot of people come in here, and when you go then to another environment, and then you think, wow, I mean, it's so calm in Basel, you know, and but from like a potential, there are thousands of people working there, you know, and you just have to. Yes, you just have to deal, instead of with private persons that buy your memberships, you have to deal with companies.
That's great.
Yeah.
As someone with a sports background, I know you played football, you told also. What leadership lessons from sports have helped you in managing Balboa?
Building a team, like knowing what's important in a team, that everyone has his place in the team. And that some people need a little bit other treatment than others. I mean, it's in a football team. I always I'm always I mean, I'm from Germany, so I'm referring to Bayern Munich. But they had a famous president, that is Uli Hoeneß, you know, and he took care of the special cases, you know. So if they saw, you know, Franck Ribéry.
Yeah.
Franck Ribéry is a famous French football player. Yes, but he was also enfant terrible. He's from Marseille, so he comes from a very poor family, you know, and he was always like going around, playing around, even some criminal things like went on. But every time something came up, like Uli Hoeneß took him out of the light of the press and dealt with the problem with him one-on-one. So he was standing in front of him, and he took like all the blame for him. And then he said to him, look, I don't know what he said like in detail, but I'm pretty sure he said, look, you have such a great career and you're like the most talented player that we have, and you have to see what you damage with that actions, you know. So he didn't leave him alone and just say, hey, you did something wrong and now you're fired and you have to pay like $100,000. But he took care of them because he knew that he needs a special treatment, and you cannot say, okay, you cannot just compare someone that grew up in a very nice family in a nice neighborhood in Germany and went through all the football schools. You cannot compare with a Brazilian guy or with a French guy that comes from a poor neighborhood. They are different persons and they need a different treatment. So I don't have a Franck Ribéry, but it's a little bit similar as I see it. Some people, they are more structured, and some people, they are less structured, and some people have a unique talent to pull people. They have a really unique talent to pull people. For some reason, people follow them, you know, even though they do some things that you would like, if you write it on a paper, you would say like, that is like a no-go. It's like a disciplinary no-go, you know. But sometimes there are people, they just say, yeah, you know, this guy is so nice, so I like, no problem, you know. Yeah. But this is like very specific to different people. So that's what I learned, to treat people differently and to like what it means to form a team, and that they also respect the strengths and the weaknesses of each other. That is also coming from football. So because they're Ronaldinho, you know, so the rest of the team that played with Ronaldinho had to cope with the fact that he's allowed to go 3 times dancing within the week, like in the normal week.
Really?
Yes, because he had a special allowance, because he said, I need to dance to live. You know, that I'm Brazilian, I need to dance. But then he scored 3 goals in the weekend, and he made everybody rich. You know, so this is exactly what I mean.
That's great. So in football, teamwork is the key to success.
Yes.
And in business, how do you ensure strong collaboration and trust between your partners?
Yeah, with partners, you mean like business partners?
Yes, business partners.
Yes, also communication and honesty and being authentic. I think it's not always the way to make the most business, but we also had like very strong collaborations with different brands, and there we tried always to be like very open, to make everything possible, to give them opportunities also to grow with us, and that we can grow with them. And for example, with like On Running, we did 2 times like a live concert in here. I mean, there we made a lot of stuff possible. It was not too expensive for them, so bringing more like a good story out than just like charging, you know, because if you like handling with a bank, you could say like every little minute I talk with you, it costs you like $100. You know, so you could be really strict because they are used to do that like business. But we see everyone more or less, it's also weakness maybe, we see everyone as friends more or less, and that is also like we approach them from the very first moment, and we kept always like a good connection to all of them. So, and as long as I do that, I will keep on going and doing that like this.
What's one piece of advice you would give someone like me who wants to understand the fitness market in Switzerland better?
The fitness market? I don't know many other markets, maybe the German market a little bit. What I know is that like the average Swiss person is quite active. So they like to go skiing, they like to go hiking. So from the very first, like in childhood, like almost like what amazed me the most is like every kid can skate. You know, they can skate on ice. So in Germany, it's not the case. You know, I learned it almost by accident a little bit back then when we had like a lake in front of our house. But apart from that, like everybody can ski, everybody can skate. You know, even like smaller kids, they take part in running running competitions. So they have a quite active base. So the level is quite high, but the barrier to go in a gym is maybe a little bit higher than in other countries, because I read once in America like 90% of all people have a gym membership. That doesn't mean that they work out, but they have a gym membership. So going in a gym is like of a necessity or something that everybody has, you know, because they're cheap also. But in Switzerland, I think they take an active decision somehow against their outdoor regime and all the outdoor activities that they do with the family, and that makes it for gyms a little bit harder than in other countries. But I also have to say I'm in a Zurich bubble, so highly competitive. So I don't know whether the Zurich market is comparable to the rest of Switzerland. Yeah, I think in other cities that's a little bit smaller. It's much harder to run a gym than here in Zurich. Yeah.
What's your position on men's mental health in general and in Switzerland in particular, and how does training help men to improve it?
Men's
mental health. Yeah,
men's mental health. I mean, as I said before, I think the mental aspect is even bigger than the physical aspect for training. I feel it for myself, like stress resilience is like the almost biggest part. If I have worked out or moved in any way, my mood is so much better. And that is not because I'm a sports person, let's say. It's because like the endorphins that go through your body let you like handle stress so much better. And then of course all the side effects come with it. That's like the cardiovascular health and bone density and like the strength. But I mean it's been shown more and more that like the best longevity plan is to move. The best longevity plan is to do somehow strength training and keep your cardiovascular health on a decent level. And that is, in my opinion, almost the only way how to live your last years like in a very nice and happy way. Because your health is everything, and if you lose that in your last 15 or even 20 years, then I mean that answer is self-explanatory. Then no one, what will you say? I lost the thing. So. No, I mean, that is very obvious for everyone, I think. Yeah.
Who are the people who inspired you the most or are inspiring you now? It can be a mentor, a friend, celebrity, anything.
Like back then, it was only football players. I was big fan of Mehmet Scholl in Germany and Zinedine Zidane. I was like biggest fan. Yes, because of their sheer like elegance to play and easiness to play, movement efficiency was always something I really admired. Make it look easy in any kind of sport. I mean, Michael Jordan and Roger Federer in tennis. I mean, these guys, they didn't have the biggest muscle. They didn't like have the biggest like physical conditions that made them the best. They just had the mental strength and also like a movement efficiency that I really loved to see. Now I'm much more in the strength area. I mean, admiration is a big word now, because I'm also like I lived my life as like a football player, and then like in my 20s I ran behind all these idols and stuff. It's not so big anymore, but I'm still admiring like a big sports performance. I have to say, deep in my heart I tend to watch always the biggest sports performance. And when I look to CrossFit and weightlifting, like I followed Rich Froning a lot, because also of the movement efficiency. He's a great snatcher, and so good, even in like fatigue. And he's coming from football, I think, also, right? Yes, and therefore he also looks athletic. And yeah, I mean, if I can say admiration, then maybe that. But I also listen now to a lot of business guys and business people, but there I can definitely not speak about admiration. I can just take good advices from them. Yeah.
What is your favorite book? Maybe a business that you mentioned before, or something that you can recommend?
At the moment, I'm reading a book of Never Change the Split. Is like a famous book about finances and like how to negotiate. Like the psychology of people always interests me, especially since I'm leading a team. Like the very base of the psychology of people interests me. Like the title is a little bit weird, but I really liked it because it's a 70-year-old book. It's called How to Make Friends and Manipulate People. It's interesting. It's from Dave Carnegie, I think. I really enjoyed that book because it has a lot of nice stories also from the past, from the like French Revolution and everything. And then, I don't know, Craig Everett, weightlifting. I enjoyed that also. So I have to say I'm listening a lot to podcasters at the moment. So I have a small kid, so I do not read many books at the moment. But during Corona and a little bit after it, I concentrated on that like psychology topic, and that was really really interesting. I thought, yes.
What's your favorite movie?
Let's say Gladiator.
Gladiator.
Yes.
Did you see the second movie? The new one?
Not yet. No,
Not yet.
I didn't watch a movie for I don't know.
It was like last 2 months in cinema. You know.
Yes.
It's very good. I've seen it.
Good.
What's one tool that increases your productivity, or maybe allows you to run your company more smoothly? Can be anything from software to, I don't know, a special matrix that provides you with the best sleep.
Google Drive.
Google Drive.
Yes, because we collaborate with a lot of lists and with a lot of documents here in the team, and I like that you can access it everywhere, and then that it's really hands-on, and we can use it in every meeting, and it's really productive. Now it has AI functionalities in it, so you can just tell them create a list of blah blah blah. And that would be a tool, because we are not sitting in the office the whole day, so we don't have many tools that we really use. Yes, and one is like it's called Sling, and it's an internal staff planning software, and that is also very helpful because I have connection to the whole team and can plan the whole team, and the whole team sees always what we do, what's the plan is, and they have like an actual state of when they have a class and what's coming and who substitutes. And yes, and also when we want to communicate, we can place like a little audio file or like a text there. Yeah.
Great. What is one thing you know that you wish more people knew?
Half of the population knows it, the other one maybe not. Like how precious it is, like to have enough time to train before you have a kid.
That's great insight. Yeah. Is there something you've learned in the last 5 years that you wish you knew earlier?
Yes, how to run a business properly, like the economic side of things. Yes.
If you could leave behind just one small piece of paper with 3 pieces of advice for all the generations that come after you, what would you write?
Be kind. Don't take yourself too serious. And make peace wherever you can.
Now, in the end, I would like to ask you more about this new project of yours at the Basel, because I think it's the most exciting for you now, just before the opening is all fresh. What can you tell me more, and what can people hear more about it?
Yeah, so in a nutshell, I talked a little bit about it before. In a nutshell, it came to us. We didn't actively search for it, and it is a good collaboration between our restaurant and us. And we will provide food and sport there in the office building. And there around there are many other office buildings, like from the biotech industry, Johnson & Johnson, the Tropical Institute, and a few others. Like Basel is big in the pharma industry, so there will be more or less high-paid researchers there, a completely other part of the population that we train here. Here is like everyone, students, bankers, like all kind of people. And there we have a quite like a set of people that we know. It's predictable somehow, but we don't know yet whether these are like very dedicated fitness people. So we will find out. But it's a very interesting project, because we want to duplicate and multiply it also if it's successful. And it could be a good blueprint for the future to bring to real estate developers when they want to do big projects for office buildings or also rebuild stuff. They always need retail, food, and nowadays also a gym, which is something that people expect not only in hotels but also around their workplace. And they expect the employer to offer something, and not only one treadmill and a few 1 kilo dumbbells, but also maybe a more or less cool group training concept from Zurich. You know, yes, and that is something we open now in June. We are quite right now we are in recruiting and building all the stuff. The floor comes next week. It's very exciting. Gonna have a nice layout and customize equipment. Really nice. I'm trying to get a position there in the company so that I can train there. That's great. No, yeah. Yes, and we're gonna open in June, and then if it runs smoothly, then we're gonna quite quickly prepare a pitch for other real estate developers.
You also told me about this building is a special building, self-sustainable project, something like this.
Architectural sustainable project of a famous architect, Herzog & Demeron, and they only used the wood and the ground of the building to build that up, you know. So no concrete is in there in this building, so it feels like a chalet in Zermatt a little bit, just with 4 floors.
4 floors.
Yes,
That's great.
Yes, with almost 500 people in it. Yeah.
If there is one more subject that you would like to discuss.
Yeah, I mean, you came recently to Switzerland, so maybe you can tell me, as we're talking about Balboa today, I mean, we could do a full other episode of only your interesting story, you know, but the people should watch all the episodes of your
Thank you very much.
Of your podcast.
Thank you very much.
But I mean, we met each other here in Balboa, and it was from the first moment a very nice connection, I think. So maybe you can tell the people what did you like in the very core of the Balboa training when you did it.
In the training, I liked.
What did you do? Like, which training did you
do?
Yes. So, with Kader. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the girl, I'm sorry, I forgot her name from the
Yeah.
reception, was very kind to me, and
Yeah.
I asked her, what do you recommend me to try?
Yeah.
Because I don't have any preferences.
Yes.
She asked me, what's your preferences? And I said, just recommend me one that you like or people like.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she said, go to Stabil. He's very good trainer, and he was.
Yeah.
Good
Yes.
explanations,
Yes. Yeah.
very careful with the people, good presence, attitude,
Yes.
everything you would like to see in a group setting class.
Yes.
Also, I told you about her. She was very kind, very polite.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing to...
Cool. Yes. Yes. Kader is someone. Is a trainer.
Kara.
Kader.
Kader.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He came from Germany. He used to run a personal training gym there. Worked with a lot of football players also in his past. So he has great knowledge in the athletic development, and you see that in the training also. It's called stable. And that it's what he's doing, you know. And he's a great puzzle piece that is quite new, and I have still a lot of plans with him. Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
In case after this podcast there will be people who want to connect with you, where they can find you?
Yes, always like Instagram, Balboa Move. Also our website. There's a contact form. But it's my email is also easy to find. It's just a Timo and then at balboamove.ch. So there you can find me. Also us, Balboa. And in the website you see like everything we offer. As I said before, we try to make it really easy to understand. And we have so many disciplines to offer that I'm pretty sure that almost for everyone is something in it.
That's great. Timo, thank you very much for accepting my invitation.
Yes.
Again, it was a pleasure.
Yes, for me too. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.